Liverpool have just dominated Real Madrid. Don't let the scoreline fool you. They have outclassed their opponents in every aspect, and in this video we're going to be breaking down how they did it. We're going to be taking a look at how they managed to stop Real Madrid's superstars, while also looking at the tactics Arne Slot used to get the best performance out of Florian Wirtz that we've seen yet. And of course, we're going to be taking a look at the goal that finally broke the deadlock. Liverpool fans, it's going to be a good one. Liverpool were absolutely phenomenal in this game, and their brilliant performance was built on a foundation of defensive solidity. To do this, we know about how they like to set up with their 4-2-4, but the pressing that they had onto Real Madrid's backline in their first phase of build-up was really impressive. At the same time, when Real Madrid were able to bypass that initial press, it was the respect that they showed to both Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. that really took notice. The way that they were able to shuffle them across and still give them the respect that they deserved. In doing this, they dropped back into something of a more defensive and narrow formation, preventing the space in beyond. And in limiting that space, you're really limiting the potency of both Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. In doing this as well, you're also compacting this entire pitch, meaning that there aren't spaces for these Real Madrid players to play within the heart of that Liverpool midfield, preventing them from having the time or the space to be able to create dynamic opportunities and forcing shots out from outside the box or generally out wide. We need to take a mention as well of Conor Bradley, who had a sensational performance against Vinicius Jr., limiting Vinicius Jr. to only 2 duels won out of his possible 9. Bradley, in contrast to that, won 8 out of his 14. Following that, it's then about how Liverpool managed to punish the space in beyond that Real Madrid defence, how they wanted to commit themselves forward Madrid, but Liverpool looking to break on the other side. It was a fantastic display of defence transitioning into attack that should have led to a number of opportunities if it wasn't for Thibaut Courtois saving Madrid on a number of occasions. Take a look at this as an example. Now, although this is late on in the second half, it is still a perfect example of the way that Liverpool managed to defend against this Real Madrid attack, this Real Madrid set of superstars. And when you take a look at Liverpool's defensive line and the amount of spaces they're limiting in beyond, you can really see how that might stifle the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Not to mention how compact they are generally. Look at the difference between Ekitike and Virgil van Dijk. There's barely any space there at all, and when you look at where Kylian Mbappe is, he's always being pressurised. This forces the Liverpool midfielders back into a space that Liverpool are happy for them to be in. Liverpool dominated without the ball. They were sensational, and in this particular chance, yes, the ball goes over to Mbappe, but he is being pressured so much that he doesn't have the opportunity to take a touch, he doesn't have the opportunity to really take a sight onto goal, and he has to swing his leg at a random half chance. And when I tell you that this was the second best chance that Madrid got in the entire game, they only had 2 shots on target, it was a masterclass by Liverpool from a defensive point of view. They stifled Real Madrid to no end, and this was exactly how they did it. Going forwards, Liverpool were just as impressive. In looking to punish Real Madrid's midfield 3, Arne Slot created some tactics that gave us Florian Wirtz's best performance in a Liverpool shirt. And later down the line, I believe this game will be looked back on as the time that Florian Wirtz really announced himself to Liverpool. With 5 key passes and 1 big chance created, he was integral in the way that Liverpool wanted to go forwards. What Arne Slot did was move Wirtz infield, creating something of a fluid midfield 4. Now, we know about the static box formations that a lot of coaches utilise, but the way that this midfield 4 worked together with Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister was absolutely phenomenal, allowing Wirtz almost a free role, something that he had at Bayer Leverkusen, and this really unlocked his potency and his talents. The key architect for this and for this box formation was Andy Robertson, and the way that he was able to go forwards, but not just that, the way that he was able to understand when to go forwards and when to not go forwards. That is the key and integral part, and the big difference for me between himself and Milos Kerkez at the moment. The way that Robertson went forwards to create that width allowed for Wirtz to drift in field, and then you had that numerical advantage in the centre of the park. Not to mention the fact that Liverpool Liverpool made sure that they weren't exposed the other way. In doing this, McAllister moved across for this side to allow for those better passing lanes. The same thing happened for Ryan Gravenberch last season when Mo Salah went forwards and when Bradley went forwards, or even when Trent went forwards. This was a subtle change and a subtle adaptation to the way that Liverpool wanted to go forwards on this left-hand side that gave a number of different passing lanes, especially between McAllister and Robertson, McAllister and Wirtz, and of course that integral midfield four with that rotation that allowed them to start to create some really potent, dangerous attacks. And this is what I'm talking about. Take a look at this moment. This is Liverpool looking to transition the ball forwards. You've got Ekitike chasing the ball. You've got Salah looking to go there as well. But notice the positioning of Florian Wirtz. Look how central he is. But also look at where he is in conjunction with those other Liverpool midfielders. You've got Gravenberch and McAllister creating that base, creating that platform. And he's next to Dominic Szoboszlai, again, creating that box. But an integral part of this is the width that is created through Andy Robertson on that far side. Just look at how advanced he is. This is really important because as Wirtz starts to make that run to allow for Ekitike to get a pass on, it just gives Liverpool a whole different dynamic. And then once he plays that pass, you've got the dangerous Florian Wirtz running into space. You've got Dominic Szoboszlai understanding that there's a massive opportunity to start to get a goal. And as they move forwards, it gives them another possible chance. And if it wasn't for Thibaut Courtois making an absolutely sensational save, Florian Wirtz would have played a fantastic pass over towards Dominic Szoboszlai, as he does, and of course it should or could have been a huge chance and of course a goal. It is a brilliant tactical change that Arne Slot made to unlock the ability to Wirtz to have more of a free role, and it gave Liverpool so many different new attacking opportunities. Let's take a look at one more because I think Liverpool fans should be really excited about this. This is what Florian Wirtz is going to offer with that freedom that he gets from coming off that left-hand side. Again, shown by Robertson here. Look how advanced Robertson is. He can join in with that attack if he needs to, but he's creating that width and it's keeping Real Madrid honest. And what I mean by that is it's just forcing them to think about the possibility of Robertson getting the ball. This means they can't flood over to one side of the pitch. And it means that when Wirtz does this, which is overload one side, it creates that numerical advantage. And again, keeps Real Madrid honest. Look at Carreras right here. He's got Salah and he's got Wirtz. He doesn't really know what to do. Tchouameni is worried about Dominic Szoboszlai, and you've got Camavinga who's come over to try and deal with McAllister. This is a midfield and tactical conundrum that Madrid just could not solve in real time. You've got Gravenberch on the ball here currently, and because of the positioning of these Real Madrid players, it just opens up for him. But it's not due to luck, it's not due to anything else, it's due to that tactical imprint that Slot has on this side, because of the free role that Florian Wirtz has given this Liverpool attack. It's got a whole new fluidity about it. So as Gravenberch drives forwards, you've still got that midfield four, really good, really impressive, just imposing themselves on that one side of the pitch, giving them that numerical advantage. It drives forwards and Gravenberch gets fouled, and that leads into the all-important goal. And it's the goal that we're going to be taking a look at before we end. It is a fantastic cross by Dominic Szoboszlai, which needs to be mentioned. Liverpool were absolutely sensational from set pieces. Every single one seemed like it was going to cause threat and it was going to cause danger. And this is why. You've got a load of Liverpool height, Liverpool power, but also it was the way they managed to punish particular scenarios. And in this case, it pays dividends. So look at this moment right here. You've got three Liverpool players onto one Real Madrid player. The Real Madrid centre-back is completely overwhelmed, and then there's the role that Florian Wirtz plays. You can't see it here very well, but just take a look at that. Wirtz is playing an integral part here, and we have another angle for you to see. Look at how Wirtz is just putting off that Real Madrid centre-back. This gives McAllister his free jump. It also means that Ekitike is more or less unchallenged in this particular scenario. Really impressive, really important, and this allows for McAllister to get his head onto the ball first. Really good. Of course, the ball goes in. It gets fired past Thibaut Courtois. There was a moment when you thought that nothing would get past this fantastic goalkeeper, but it does, and it is a sensational win for Liverpool. They looked so very impressive and seemingly back to their very best. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, so please do get involved. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.